3.5 million units vanished from store shelves in just 4 days. That is the kind of momentum that makes history. People are calling this the second coming of handheld gaming. The hype is absolutely deafening. But I spent the last week digging into the guts of this thing. I looked at teardowns. I read through hundreds of user reports. And honestly, there's something buried in the hardware that changes everything. On the surface, it looks like a masterpiece. The screen is nearly 8 inches of vibrant color. It uses a high-quality display that makes everything pop with rich detail. The motion is ultra smooth and feels incredible when you are in the middle of the action. When you dock it to your television, it pushes ultra-high definition clarity that rivals the big home consoles. They even upgraded the internal storage to something much faster and much larger than before. We are talking about playing massive open-world games. The kind of titles that used to require a heavy desktop computer, right in the palm of your hand. It handles advanced lighting effects. It handles complex textures. It feels like a genuine leap forward. But then, the reports started flooding in. People were opening brand new, factory-sealed boxes. They were sitting down to play for the first time, and they felt it. That slow, agonizing pull to one side. The drift is back. It is the exact same nightmare we fought through for years with the previous generation. Repair experts tore down the new controllers. They wanted to see if the internal parts were actually better. The company said these were redesigned from the ground up. Technically, that might be true, but they kept the same old mechanical parts that caused the wear and tear. They avoided the specialized magnetic sensors that everyone was hoping for. Do you know why? It turns out, the new magnetic attachment system for the controllers actually makes it nearly impossible to use those drift-resistant sensors. The magnets would interfere with the sensor signal, so they chose the convenience of a snap. Over the longevity of your hardware, they chose a gimmick over a permanent solution. It feels like a massive betrayal of trust. You are paying $450 for the console. You are paying $80 for the games. And yet, the most important part of the interface is still a ticking time bomb. If it breaks, you have to mail it away. You have to wait weeks for a repair. It is a massive gamble for such a premium product. I want to love this machine. I really do. The power is there. The games are there. But the engineering feels compromised by the marketing. I spend my time investigating these things because you deserve to know what you are buying before you swipe that card. If you want to support this kind of deep dive, check the links in my description. Using those links helps me stay independent. It keeps me from having to take money from the very companies I need to critique. That would be awkward. Every little bit helps keep this channel honest. It keeps the investigations going. Trust me. The big online retailers won't even notice the small commission, but it makes a huge difference here. Keep your eyes open. Don't let the marketing blind you to the reality of the hardware. I will see you in the next investigation, where we figure out what is actually worth your hard-earned money, and what is just expensive garbage with a shiny coat of paint. Keep questioning everything and stay savvy.